It's the bark, it's the powdered bark of the slippery elm tree, the powdered inner bark. This herb is magical in a number of ways, but the most important one is it's mucilaginous. If you take a little pinch of that and put it in your mouth, it's not easy to do.
Oh, I've made this into a gruel when I couldn't eat when I was real sick.
Yeah.
She's made it for me.
Okay. Yeah. It's
when you can't digest, nothing can go down, you can sip a teaspoon of that.
Oh, it absorbs. You know, I came back from India with the word, don't breathe it in. But you see how it turns mucky and muddy, but it tastes nice. Well, I went to India, and I had the worst case of dysentery I've ever seen. And I used all the power herbs to destroy the bacteria, and I still had it. And I came home, and nothing worked. And all of a sudden, I felt like making myself a nice hot cup of slippery elm tea, and lo and behold, within an hour, my dysentery stopped.
I didn't know it could do that.
This is a powerful herb for binding, for diarrhea. The best part about slippery elm is if you take 1/3 slippery elm bark powder and mix it with 2/3 any other herbs on this table or any herbal combination, it gives you the greatest poultice that you've ever had. And a poultice means that you're using herbs for external applications on the body. So you're taking these herbs and actually putting them on the body.
It's like glue.
Oh, it's like glue. Slippery elm is like herbal glue, and you use that and it turns into a mud that'll stick to you. I've gone out into the woods and into the water, and it doesn't come off until you really work on it. We use this for poultices on the body. So slippery elm mixed with these herbs, the plantain, whatever, it'll make it stick to your body. I've even mixed it with aloe on hard areas to keep it on. You can mix it with the cayenne peppers to stimulate.
So now you're not just talking
flow.
about the separate herbs; it's how you use them together.
Oh, use them together. Use them together.
Everyone is multi-purpose.
Oh, and these, believe me, this are 10 herbs you don't want to live without. You
I
want to
remember
have in your home.
your teacher, Dr. Christopher, used to use that as a gruel on patients with like open sores, wounds that wouldn't heal, and that herb alone,
just on its own, it's a magical healer.
Healed up parts of the body that would never grow together.
But you mix it with the
You mean
others.
like gangrene or something?
Oh, all sorts of
Skin's
problems.
rotting.
But gangrene, you want to add the circulation, so you use cayenne with it. Why use it alone when you can mix all these other herbs with it? So on its own, it's a powerful healer, but mixed with any of these,
better.
If you want to draw poisons out of an area, mix it with some plantain and with some charcoal. You want to stimulate blood flow to the area, mix it with some chili, and mix it with some chili cayenne peppers and some ginger. You want to make an area relax, make a lobelia poultice and mix it with lobelia.
Amazing.
You want to burn off a cancer tumor, mix it with the garlic and burn that tumor right off the body. The aloe vera doesn't stick enough, mix it with slippery elm. You can use poultices over the kidneys. You can use a poultice of hawthorn and with chili peppers over your heart.
And have you done that on the
Oh, yeah. And for your digestion, nothing is better than peppermint, fennel, and ginger with slippery elm. It soothes, it reduces the inflammation. This herb can go with all of them.
This takes this to a whole nother level.
Oh, you know what it tells
really.
me? You don't need a doctor.
That's right.
You don't need a hospital.
That's right.
This is all you need
That's right.
and the knowledge how to use it.
That's right.
Careful how loud you say that.
The second most important herb to have in your pocket, in your hand, is lobelia. Now, this herb is famous around the world for causing dramatic healings in this country at various times.
I thought it was just an American herb.
Oh, but it's spread all over the world. Yeah, this herb predominantly grows in this country, but all over the world its use has become famous. This is lobelia.
This is what people call a weed.
Yes, this is a weed. In
And I
fact,
think it's very obnoxious, and they pull it out.
some people called it puke weed. Because let me tell you about lobelia. Lobelia is the opposite of cayenne. These two right here,
this is a
cayenne,
charger
lobelia,
upper.
a dynamic duo. This stimulates your body, increases your blood flow, lifts you up.
Okay.
This one takes you down.
So you need to be able to go
Lobelia
both ways,
is the
right?
strongest antispasmodic known. This is a powerful plant. These seed pods have over 14 known alkaloids in them, which are the strongest part.
But why would a family need an antispasmodic? Most people don't go into spasms.
Oh, yeah. Well, an antispasmodic also could be called a sedative.
All right, now that makes...
or a relaxant.
I can go for that.
But this herb is for when someone's just out of control, when they're having a fit, when they're having cramps in their muscles, when they're uptight, when they're freaking out.
Just like when they're contracting.
No, this is better than, what, Prozac or something?
Oh, absolutely. I have seen this with people with convulsions and fits and Parkinson's disease and lateral sclerosis.
I mean, you're talking some pretty heavy
serious Tourette's
diseases.
syndrome. This is the starter. This is the stopper. This is the hot. This is the cold.
You're making it simple.
This is the blast. Hey, if it isn't simple, I don't want to do it. That's my rule. It's got to be simple and fun. Healing has to be simple and fun. Medicine's the one that made it scary, painful.
I can understand the starter stuff.
This is when someone needs to stand up. This is when someone needs to sit down.
So this is like blood, and this is nerves.
That's right. Nerves and relaxation.
Okay. Yeah. And when you get the both going.
Absolutely. Okay. This will cool you down. So the main thing
I never understood it, Pete. Explain like that.
It's just like hydrotherapy, the hot and the cold. This will cool you down, whether someone's in the middle of the worst epileptic fit. I've had people in the middle of fits, stops it immediately.
You mean like a grand mal?
Oh, grand mal seizure, perfect, biting the tongue, flailing around, bring them right out of it. And a steady dose of it over a long period of time will keep them from having future ones. Okay. But any tremors, any nervousness, lobelia also has other great uses. Lobelia is the strongest herb for dilating the bronchial tube. So if someone can't breathe, emergency, asthma attack,
anxiety attack.
I've had asthmatics that were drowning in their own mucus and pus in their lungs and their own fluids. When they breathed in, it sounded like they were gurgling through water. They were blue in the face. They couldn't breathe. This will take them out of it. It dilates the bronchioles on small doses, and on large doses, if you take too much, it'll make you vomit.
Isn't that, is that okay?
Yeah, because when you vomit, your diaphragm will contract and you will purge out the contents of all that fluid in the lungs. This used to be called asthma weed. Sometimes
that's an incredible name, asthma weed.
It's just, it is one of the greatest herbs. So here's the idea. You have the one to turn it on and the one to stop it.
And likewise, you keep that in the car, the trunk, the whole thing.
If I could only have two herbs, and I had two herbs alone, these are the two, you can do almost anything with these two herbs.
Great.
There was an herbalist named Samuel Thompson that lived during the late 1700s and early 1800s on the East Coast. He used cayenne and lobelia almost exclusively in his practice, these two herbs, and it's estimated that 3.5 million people healed themselves on his program of turning it on and shutting it down.
Are you going to tell us now or later? This is so exciting, but I'd be scared if someone I love is having a convulsion. Is this the appropriate time or later? Like, can I hurt him putting too much in?
No.
Well, how do I know when I've given him enough? This sounds like it works instantly, the way you're talking.
I have never seen anybody hurt or maimed using herbs ever.
What would happen if she gave you some of that?
The worst case scenario, if you overdose on any herb, too much of it, you'll vomit. That's the worst case scenario.
That's it.
Now imagine that compared to the worst case scenario with brain surgery.
Flatline.
Yeah.
Oh,
imagine that with the worst case scenario with drugs to stop you from having seizures that we know can be lethal. Okay. Imagine that with the cardiac drugs that if you stop taking them, you'll die immediately, like the beta channel blockers and the calcium blockers. Imagine that with all those drugs and the surgical procedures and the shock treatment and the antispasmodic drugs and the heart drugs and the open heart surgery.
When you put it that way, I'll take a good puke.
Okay, yeah. All right. So a little vomit is not so bad.
Or if you want to be a good Samaritan, a total stranger, you can help them and not think, oh God, am I going to be in a lawsuit?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see this in the supermarket.
No, you won't. Even in gardening stores, you'll see garden varieties of lobelia, but that's just an ornamental. No. The Latin name for this is Lobelia inflata. Inflata is the species of lobelia. This is not the garden ground cover, and we're going to have sources in the manual where you can get some of these.
So this is a little harder to get.
That's a little harder to get. And you know, there's a couple others too. we need herbs to bring us down. Just like the cayenne is the number one, but then we have ginger. We even could have used black pepper if you fresh grind it. Lobelia is the number one, but there are also some wonderful other herbs to bring you down. They're not as powerful. They're not for emergency first aid use, but valerian root is famous.
Well, I've heard a lot about that.
The English drunk it for 5 years while they were being bombed during the Blitzkrieg. And that's how they could sit there with their calm nervous system while they were being bombed to death.
So this is like a stress?
It's a sedative. This is a powerful sedative. The root of
You mean
valerian.
they really did to get through the war?
Oh, absolutely. This is famous worldwide as a sedative. Here we have hops. These hops, we've talked about them. They're resinous, beautiful hops. Another great sedative. So it's important. You might even have yourself a formula for the nerves, but don't forget to have lobelia on its own.
Well, just tell me so I can in my head break them into parts.
Sure.
How is this is a sedative, and this is a sedative, and this is a sedative.
That's right.
Tell me a little about. They're like people. They're different.
That's right.
Tell me how they're different so
That's
I can
right.
remember them.
Lobelia relaxes the muscles, loosens up the body, stops fits, convulsions, spasms, dilates tight muscles, dilates the bronchioles, opens everything up. Valerian is a sedative. It works similar, but it's not as powerful. Lobelia is the powerful one. Valerian is a strong sedative. You feel a great sense of well-being. You're very relaxed.
What about people who
If you're having an asthma attack, I haven't seen this work. This is a sedative.
Yeah, when would you?
Tranquilizer?
When would you?
Yes.
How about people who are in hospital or
Oh,
they
you
go
brew
to
yourself,
psychologists,
you brew yourselves
psychiatrists?
up a tea of valerian, of hops, of passion flower, and a little lobelia in there, and it's going to bring you right down. These are the nervine herbs, but I just wanted everybody to know if they're going to choose one, the first aid one, the most powerful.
Number one.
Lobelia. It's beautiful. You know, I might mention this. For years in this country, medicine said this was a dangerous plant. It could poison you or kill you.
Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, but they took one isolated alkaloid, lobeline, out of this, extracted what would be in 5 pounds of lobelia, which would be 2 bales of it, and they intravenously gave it to a rat, and it killed it. It was a dumb test. That's not how we use herbs. We never take them intravenously. And so if you take too much lobelia, nature will make you vomit.
So if we make a concentrate and stay home and inject it, it might not be good.
And that's not how to use herbs. Herbs go in through the orifice of the body, not injected. But let me tell you, in Europe, this is sold in drugstores. While we shy away from it, the English use this to save themselves from asthma and bronchial problems.
They sure need the help.
Oh, the chest colds that you get in that damp climate. So around the world, this is sold in drugstores. In this country, it's not even known about. And it grows.
But you use more than other people, don't
Oh,
you?
yeah. Well, this is important.
Because there's a lot of fear of this. Even people who use it, they tippy-toe on this one.
Yeah. You never worry. The worst case scenario with taking too much of any herbs is you're going to vomit. And the taste alone will tell you. If something tastes like a strawberry or a raspberry, your body says, I want more. If something is very bitter, it may be a tonic, and your body's saying, well, a little bit will do. It's more of a medicinal herb. The great way to tell between a nutritional and medicinal herb is one that is very strong, that you don't like the taste or flavor of. That's more one for medicine.
It tastes like medicine.
Yeah, it tastes like medicine.
This combination, making these formulas, sounds so good because it sounds like you're saying it calms your body and it calms your mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when, you know,
see, what Samuel
they're not
Thompson knew
separate.
is these herbs, they'll dilate the bronchioles, they'll loosen everything up and make it easy and loose. And then this herb will blast the blood right through those organs.
Through those loosened
That's
up
right, that's right.
blood
So
vessels.
he knew the idea was to loosen up the tissue and stop the spasm and open up and then blast through and stimulate with the cayenne. And just those 2 herbs right here, everybody who's watching this needs both of these
Sounds like
in their house.
life,
That's
right?
right. Why do
Yeah.
you think these things are here? So we can just mow them down? I mean, why have we been blessed with this growing naturally on this planet? Why is it out our backyard? Is it just for the pretty colors? These are the medicine that I believe has been provided for us by God and nature. It's ours to use.
So that we don't suffer during different periods in our lives.
Unfortunately, the doctors have educated us to be afraid of what God has blessed us with.
Trust them.
Oh, yeah. Trust a chemical house. Trust a pharmacy. Trust a knife.
Because they care.
Oh, yeah, they care. But don't you dare go outside
and
use your blessing. Oh, yeah, this is nature. It's dirty. It's dangerous. Okay. And that's my job, is to educate my patients that this is not radical. Brain surgery is radical. Okay, open heart surgery is radical. This is what we're supposed to be using. This is tinctures. Okay.
I found this terrifies people.
Well, see, a tincture is the most popular way to use herbs now and was in history because it's a concentrated, alcoholic, and water preserved extract of herbs. Okay. Water extracts some of the power out of herbs. Alcohol extracts other chemicals out of herbs. And you have a liquid extract that you can use in an emergency. It's concentrated, it's potent, it has a shelf life of 30, 40, 50 years.
That really helps.
I've tasted tinctures that were 80 and 90 years old, and they curled my toes. They were so strong. But the herbalist...
With no preservatives, right?
With no preservatives, no preservatives. Alcohol helps it get into your bloodstream faster. It preserves it for a very long period of time. But no one... Anywhere I went to any herbal school could tell me how to do this.
Wait, you're kidding.
Oh, no. This is a very closely guarded herbal secret.
What we're doing today, people didn't want to tell you.
This is the big mystery. The manufacturers certainly don't want you to know how to do this. Otherwise, by accident, you'd make something 10 times better than they're making with all the high-tech advertising and the high-tech equipment.
You sure we don't need $1 million lab?
Test tubes. There's no test tubes here.
That's right. And the herbalists, well, they don't necessarily want you to know this. The truth is, they don't know it either. Most of these herbalists, again, are just writing their books about a chemical in an herb and how it hopefully might help
You got buddies
the
that
disease.
are herbalists, and they don't...
Oh, they'd cut their finger off with this knife. They wouldn't know how to make these preparations. The first thing we're going to have to do is find somebody that has no degree in agriculture, no degree in botany, doesn't know Latin names, has no understanding of biology, biochemistry, and has taken no chemistry classes. Do we know anybody like that?
I think we got somebody.
Oh, Sam!
I fit the description.
Perfect. Okay. So I just want to show you how simple it is that anybody can make an extract at home that'll be powerful and they can use. And I think a good one to start with is peppermint. Here's some fresh mint.
Yes, that was wonderful.
Yeah, I got this right outside, like I said, under my dripping hose is where all.
But I've seen it in grocery stores.
Yeah, yeah. And we want to prepare this to go in the blender to make our first.
Let me do it.
Oh, to make our first extract. Yeah, I couldn't get it off. And so we want to prepare this peppermint. Yeah, and the way we prepare it, dump it in. Just dump that down in the blender. That's our big preparation right there. Now the menstruum for tinctures.
What does menstruum mean?
Menstruum means the liquid that you're going to extract the healing properties of those herbs out and into. Okay. And you can use many types of things. Water works, and that's what a tea is, but the water will go bad in a couple days.
Yeah.
Water and grain alcohol is the perfect substance. The grain alcohol not only preserves, but it helps extract some of the harder chemicals that water alone won't get out. And the perfect secret solution of water and grain alcohol, you got it, cheap vodka. Right here, cheap vodka. This is 40% alcohol or 80 proof vodka. 80 proof or 40% alcohol means that this is 60% pure water and 40% grain alcohol.
Richard, I'm smiling because whenever I go to the ABC store in my state to make tinctures, and I walk out with like 4 or 6 of these, I feel like apologizing on the way out. I really don't drink this stuff. I'm okay.
I used to go to this market right down the street here, right at Trancas, and buy myself a bottle of fresh orange juice and a bottle of vodka every morning. And I walked out one day and I heard him go, "That guy is such a drunk." But this is the greatest tincture base. All you're going to do is open that up and pour it in. And
do
now,
I need measuring cups?
I don't think so. You don't have a degree, so let's not do anything technical.
Ignorance.
Here we go. Now, if you squeeze that bottle a little bit, it comes out, and that's all we're doing is we're putting this vodka over this peppermint. That looks like plenty to me. This is the high-tech world of herbal preparations here. Right here. You turn that blender on and get it blended really nice.
Are you ready?
Can you handle it?
Well, now people want to say, do I do shred, beat, blend, liquefy?
I knew we'd run into a stumper here.
There's too many buttons.
That's
Okay,
right.
okay.
All by the blender itself, it figured out how to chop up that peppermint. It's liquefying it now into our alcohol, into our water, our grain alcohol and water. Try a little higher speed.
I was going to put it on, yeah.
Let's even take it up more RPMs. Let's get daring.
That's the speed limit.
That's as high as it goes.
Ooh. Hey, hyperdrive. Okay, shut it off. Okay, here's the test right here. Here we have peppermint tincture. Look at our 1 minute tincture has a better green color than those products that we bought. I can smell right from here. Look at the color of this, Sam. Look at the color, Sandy. This is our 1 minute tincture, okay?
I think even smelling it is healthy for you, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. The aroma, the aromatic oils. Now, this tincture is supposed to be made on the new moon. It's supposed to be,
what's the new moon?
Well,
I always get confused.
The new moon is when there's no moon, when the moon is dark, when you can't see a moon out. Okay. That's the new moon.
Is that just superstition?
Well, you know, a lot of people think so, but not only the herbalists of old went by that, but all the farmers still go by that with planting, with harvesting. It affects the tides. This isn't superstition. Police forces even put more officers on the street during a full moon. That's where the power is. So we start on the new moon where there's no moon, and then we harvest on the full moon. We squeeze this tincture out and let it set for that 14 days, shaking it every day. And of course, we can just squeeze it out through a high-tech cloth, but a good cotton undershirt works just fine. Just wash it and make sure that it has no chemicals in it, but a good cotton, and you would put that over a bowl and squeeze this out after 14 days. But we're just making our 1 minute tincture. It couldn't possibly be as good as the power tinctures we bought.
Oh, I wanted some too.
There you go.
Oh, it's so good.
I can smell the essential oils, the menthol.
It's got a richness of flavor. It's
Wait
not
a minute,
just
you didn't taste that richness in the products from the health food store?
It never occurred to me because there wasn't anything but that burnt nothing. Now this is like, it's not one flavor,
nice.
It's a...
This is what I call full spectrum.
That's how you would say it.
There's more than just menthol or an essential oil in peppermint.
It's full.
Oh, you have the whole plant in here. This is a peppermint tincture, and that's how easy it is to make one. And look at, now it's only been in there 2 minutes, and look at that color. How did the bio-chelated, especially standardized, high-tech stuff not be green?
You make all that stuff sound stupid.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty stupid stuff. I'm just going to pour that out. That's our high-tech tincture. Going to run a little water in here. Now we're going to make a cayenne tincture. Uncle Harry's in the living room. He's got pains in his chest. He isn't feeling good. You don't have time to go to the health food store. And even if you do, you'll end up with that cayenne tincture that we bought that had no heat to it at all and that was clear.
It's sweet, just sweet.
Oh, it was just sweet. I mean, nothing in it. So now what we want to do is prepare our fresh peppers that we have. We have our cutting board here. We have our knife. We can wash these, clean these. But you know what? Uncle Harry's not going to last that long. That man's in the living room. He's down on the couch and he's saying, I think this is it. I think this is it. And so we got to go. So dump them in. Oh, what about the stems?
Uncle Harry's more important.
That's right. Uncle Harry's got pains in his chest right now. The heck with the stems.
Save Uncle Harry.
Now, the second big technical aspect here.
This again?
Up, you got it. And she said she had no degrees.
I'm a fast learner.
Let's put in our water and our grain spirits.
He's going quick.
Oh, you're right. God.
Yeah, that's the technique for when Uncle Harry's going. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Stick that pepper in, put that top on. Look at how clear that liquid is right now. Feel peppermint leaves in there. We think we got a formula going.
We got to go.
Hyperspeed.
Whoa.
Okay.
Around and round it goes.
Not even a minute. I
Oh,
thought you
this is
stop
the
it before 1 minute
mystery.
is up.
This is the big herbal mystery
There
right
we go.
here. Uncle Harry, I just heard him scream again. Here, open it up.
More.
Uncle Harry's screaming. Open it up. Throw a few more in. Ah, that's it.
He's
That's
moaning.
enough.
Okay.
That's enough time. Let's take a dropper full of that. Here.
Give me a
We
whack.
don't have time to filter it.
Okay, for now, I'm Harry. Hurry.
Harry, we
Hurry.
didn't have time to
I'm
press
going.
it. We didn't have time to filter it. We didn't have time to do anything.
Oh, God, I'm back.
Now,
I think it's going to be all right.
Now, does that taste like that stuff we tried? You have any power, any heat to that? Look at the color of that
I'm
already.
walking on air. I'm not on the floor.
Would you like to try some?
Why not?
Here, we'll do dropperfuls.
Dropper. Let's do it ladylike.
And I'm just going to take some of this clear liquid off the top here. Ooh, there's a. See if you taste anything there.
Whoa.
Yes, I do. I sure do.
Woo!
I think I got the hottest ones floating on
Yeah.
top. No, okay, I'm gonna live. I'm not
She's
that
begging
bad.
for stop. Nobody's going to have a heart attack anymore. No one's fainting. No one's passing out. You know what's
I
important?
feel
too?
good. Let's go out to eat.
After the initial,
Yeah.
you feel.
I
You
know.
really feel, don't you, honey? You
Yeah,
feel
it
better.
spreads.
And
It
look,
goes from the
Spreads.
mouth.
No, it's a sense of well-being.
Yeah.
Look at the color
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
The richness, the power of this.
It's strong,
The best
Richard.
cayenne tincture you can buy, made from fresh peppers from the
See,
grocery store.
now my whole head is warm. That's the effect.
Yeah.
My mouth.
Oh, look at
my
your
head.
face. Yeah.
And I feel it in my chest.
Oh, the perspiration all over your body. That's called blood. Blood and
That's great.
circulation.
Yeah, it's just great.
Blood and circulation. But now I'd like to share with you, every great herbalist, and that's what I consider myself, has what they call a all-purpose tonic
Okay.
or a plague formula. And most of them were very complicated. Most of them you had to simmer 12 herbs for 4 hours each separately and then reduce them down to a quarter their original
That's what I thought
volume.
herbalism was, Richard.
Oh, and then juice this and juice that and add this in and add that in. I had master herbalist students around the world that couldn't even copy the plague formulas of the famous herbalists. And the problem is when someone comes down with a 104-degree fever, you don't have 4 weeks to put something together. So what I'm a master at is making quick, easy preparations that anybody can put together right now.
Children can do this.
From stuff you get in the grocery
Children
store.
can do it.
Absolutely. You can get this at the farmer's market. So I developed what I call a super tonic made from all 5 fresh ingredients that anybody can make. The first ingredient, cayenne pepper.
What's the exact proportions?
1 handful each. I make my formulas in parts, and so that means a thimbleful, a cupful, a bucketful, a wheelbarrow full, a
It's that
handful. It's that easy. This is not high-tech science here. This is not nuclear physics.
Okay.
We're trying to save people's lives, and the cruder we do it, it'll still be better than anything you can
We
buy.
can't make it too
Do
strong.
I start?
Well, I've never put 3 herbs together and seen any type of flash or explosion come out of the blender here. Fear is what everybody uses to hold themselves back from doing what we're doing right here, and it's so easy. So the first thing, the first of the 5 ingredients in the super tonic, the cure-all tonic, is cayenne. Remember, cayenne is going to drive the blood throughout the body, break up that blockage and heal you. We've already prepared some chopped up peppers right there. That's all you do is chop them up. We could have put them in whole. It doesn't matter. The second ingredient is ginger root. Remember we talked about that as going to the extremities and coming back. So now we have the 2 greatest herbs to boost your circulation that you could have. Now we know we're going to get the blood all around the body.
Okay.
The
And
third,
these are all good for you.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no fear. This is all food.
oh, you couldn't buy an herbal tonic this powerful with all the money in the world.
Food is medicine.
Absolutely.
Used the way he does it.
Yeah.
It's medicine.
Yeah, it's medicine.
Garlic. Destroys any germ.
Don't you have 2 cloves too many?
I only count by bulbs, okay? I don't count by cloves. Garlic destroys any bacteria, any virus, any fungus, any antigen, any pathogen, anything that will hurt you, and it strengthens your body.
That's quite a brew you got.
That's quite a brew, and it's not finished. We put in some onions, which is garlic's next of kin, and the hotter the onions, the better. Just passing that by me right now made my eyes tear. Hot white onions, the hottest onions you can get, the same family as garlic. Just as a backup, and onions also work up into the head more and start opening in the sinuses. And
they're more aromatic.
You want to know the cure? Conjunctivitis. I've had so many patients with conjunctivitis.
Eyes?
The tear ducts are blocked, and therefore the natural enzymes in the tears that are antibacterial can't flush out the eye, and you get eye infections, conjunctivitis. I have the absolute cure for conjunctivitis. That's it right there. Onions. The cure.
Man.
All you have to do is
herbal maniac.
Chop onions and make lunch, and all of a sudden, no more conjunctivitis. You're crying, your tear ducts are open. I've had people spend thousands of dollars at the doctors and go through living hell with eye infections, and this will end it in an afternoon, and all they have to do, I used to have my patients go in the kitchen and make me lunch. Okay, the 5th ingredient here, horseradish root. Horseradish goes right to the head, right up to the head. And here's our horseradish root. Wonderful horseradish root. You can grate it, you can chop it. The bottom line, get it in the blender.
That's a little harder to find, isn't it, for people?
Or
do they just ignore it?
And you know, there's such great stores.
It's not like there's a big section of like 200 of them, but they'll have.
And all over the country now, we're having fresh fields. Now, this one, we're not going to use vodka. We're going to use apple cider vinegar. So shake that up, because that's the good stuff with the particles in the bottom. And then just fill that up about 2/3 of the way. You know, Sam, and there's good stores opening up all over the country. Fresh Fields, you have one in your area, Whole Foods, and they're big grocery stores with lots of dry goods and produce. And you can put more in there. Let's top it right off, just so it covers just because it covers the herbs. And all of those will get horseradish and good chili peppers and ginger and onions and garlic.
There's no problem today.
Oh, no problem. They'll even get organic. Okay, here we are. I don't know. Here we are. Turn it on.
Here we go.
She's going right to high.
Okay, here's the miracle brew.
Something's going to happen.
Shut it off. And I'm just going to bring that right over here.
You could inhale this.
Yeah. Remember, just the odor of garlic has destroyed bacteria, virus, and fungus. Just the odor is powerful. But let's take ourselves a little taste. I have a spoon right here. Now, we didn't have time to filter it out. We didn't have time to squeeze it. Sam, would you like to take a taste of this? My patient swore this was the absolute cure. That was a pretty big taste we just took. A cure for the common cold.
It's okay. No, I'm telling you, it's like there's no problem.
Oh, yeah, I know. Isn't it great?
Or maybe after that other blast.
Whoa! Let's get the spoon away from this guy. Sandy, you interested?
I'm interested.
And don't worry about sharing the spoon. No self-respecting germ would live down in here, believe me. Garlic kills it all. Cayenne.
It's not a problem.
And ginger to blast the circulation.
I think
the horseradish goes up to the head, and what the person would do is strain this out and take the liquid out of it.
The vinegar seems to soften that cayenne.
Yeah. The vinegar extracts from these herbs the same way the alcohol will, but in a milder way. And the power of all these herbs in there works just fine. But the vinegar, many people have said to me, well, how long will the super tonic last? Will the vinegar go bad? Vinegar's already bad. That's what vinegar is. It's gone off. It's already bad.
This doesn't go off?
Doesn't go off. You can keep it for years.
But you got to strain it, right?
You can strain it. You know what? Many of my patients didn't. They left it like applesauce, and they like spooning it in just like you guys
and this
did.
Doesn't ferment in the cupboard?
No, not at all. Just gets better with age. What did you notice from a spoon of that?
It's actually very good.
Yeah,
you know, you talk about recipes. This is cooking. You know,
one of my patients who's a food
people
producer
are going crazy over today. It's like a really tasty hot sauce.
One of my patients
Probably
that's a
healthier.
food producer says that we should bottle this and sell it as the
Yes,
world's
yes.
most
It's
best
good.
salad dressing.
It is.
I was
It's very
expecting
good.
something medicinal.
When
I
you
was
have a
too.
cold or a flu
Like chaparral
or a
was
sickness
Yeah.
or a
Yeah.
disease or AIDS or cancer or anything, make yourself your super tonic. Have it always in your cupboard, in your refrigerator, and use it every day. It'll kill every germ in your body. It'll build up your strength, and it'll boost your circulation.
How much, if you were
to
real
break
sick,
up-
how much would you take?
I would use 10, 15 spoons of it a day. Okay, the average dose is a ½ ounce of the liquid gargled, get it all over your tonsils, your throat, and then swallow it. That would be a good dose. If you overdose, the big problem with herbs, you'll throw up. That's the only downside. You know, so this here is the mystery and magic and high technology and secrets that were held for generations.
Do we need a license?
Over here, I have a tonic. This is a tincture that I made. And this is not a good tincture. That isn't going to help people get well.
Well,
What is
there
it?
isn't much going on in it.
Well, no, you know, it's a lighter colored water, and there's herbs in here. There's a big root there. There's some leaves up here. There's herbs inside this jar. But the national formulary standards for making...
What is that? What is National
Well,
Formulary Standard?
well, herbalists got together and decided what good standards would be for how much herb should go in a jug compared to how much herbal material. And they say that if you put more than that herb material in the jug,
Yeah.
that you'll be wasting herbs. That all that can be extracted by this volume of liquid is extracted from that amount of herbs.
Is that the way it really is?
Okay, you want to know the secret, the absolute secret to curing the incurables, to healing people.
I want to know what you
medicine is
did,
thrown
so
away.
I can do it at home.
It's very detailed, it's very involved, it's very technical, it's under there. Sam, Sandy, you ready for the big secret?
Not quite, but I'll
This
go
has
along
been
with it.
guarded from generation to generation about how to make extremely potent herbal tonics. It's right under the black cloth.
May I?
You're going to break thousands of years of herbal tradition, but I think it's time to do it.
Oh, hell.
Here it is. It's called More Herbs in the Jug. That's all it is.
That's it?
More herbs in the jug.
There's got to be more.
See, when I make a product in my clinic, I knew that it was to heal. I wasn't seeing products. I was seeing sick and dying people with cancer and AIDS and arthritis and neuromuscular diseases. That's why I make them like that. You don't make weak stuff. Put all the herbs that you can fit in the jar up to the top and then top it off with liquid.
Hey, when you got out of herbal school, you must have started like this, right?
Oh, absolutely.
They taught you that.
Yeah, and you know what happened?
No.
Nothing.
No one got well. No one got well.
That's right.
You
No
mean
one
that
got well.
you did it and-
No, it didn't work for me. It didn't work for my patients,
Okay.
and that's why the products available don't work.
So that's where you ended up.
Yeah, and everybody says, well, you're wasting herb. Like I said, herbs are weeds. There's no shortage of them. Let's support American farmers to be good new organic growers. And you know what this costs when you make a little bottle of it over this? About 50 cents more. And that 50 cents is the difference between life or death to a loved
That's
one.
amazing.
Don't
That really
short
is.
yourself on herbs.